Pravit moi druzy. Hello, my friends. Today, I want to talk about something a little different. I've been talking about propaganda for some time. If you don't know me, my name is Gerdes. I'm just a professor who's been tracking what's been going on in Ukraine, trying to help give you some context so that you understand what's going on. I've been talking in the most recent days, Scott Ritter yesterday, and the day before that, I was talking about fun with Russian state media, about propaganda. And since I'm talking about propaganda, I want to show you that you can even take legitimate things and make them look not legitimate. And here's what I mean. So this was an excellent review. It was on CNN, and I just want you to see how this works. So he's going to talk here about how things were taken out of context, and because they were taken out of context, we thought something different than what it is. And so I'm going to ask you to do two things for me. Hit the like button so this can spread if at any time you're seeing value here, and then I want you to pay attention and promise me that you will verify if you hear a strange claim or something that doesn't seem like it adds up. Just Google it, look for it in other places. Don't immediately believe whatever's out there. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
A 19-second video of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has gotten millions of views on Twitter. The viral video shows Zelensky speaking at a press conference on the anniversary of Russia's invasion. And it sure sounds, from this short clip, like he made a dramatic declaration that Americans have to fight in Ukraine.
The U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war, and they will have to fight. Because it's NATO that we're talking about, and they will be dying, God forbid, because it's a horrible thing.
Critics of American financial and military
so if you just took
Ukraine
that
have
one
reacted furiously to this.
Okay, so if you just took that one claim, you're thinking, wow, what's he talking about? He really said that? And you see him really saying that, and you see the translation. So it's kind of like who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? Well, you actually are seeing this. So, but there's more to the story, and this is what you need to do. You need to see if that was what was said, go to the full text or the original source or whatever, or just verify before you jump to conclusions.
Clip and shared it on social media. They include Republican Senator Mike Lee of Utah and Monica Crowley, a former Trump administration Treasury Department spokesperson. Crowley wrote, Zelensky...
Now, before we talk about this, these are people who already are seeing it a particular way, and they're more susceptible to seeing that as true because of their worldview is already shaped a particular way. This is a pitfall that we're all prone to, so be very careful. Even if it's something that seems to verify your position, you still want it. Like if it's too good to be true, or if it's so out there, just verify. Okay, here we go.
Now directly threatening us and claiming American sons and daughters will have to fight and die for Ukraine.
He was doing no such thing.
However, Zelensky did not actually make that claim. This 19-second video takes him way out of context. The full clip shows that he wasn't talking about Americans fighting in Ukraine at all. Here is what really happened. Zelensky was asked about what he'd say to Americans who think the U.S. is providing too much support for Ukraine. He first thanked the American people, President Biden and Congress, for their support. He urged Americans to see Ukrainians as similar to themselves. He urged the U.S. not to give up its leadership position in the world. And then he said this.
The U.S. is never going to give up on the NATO member states. If it happens so that Ukraine, due to various opinions and weakening and depleting of assistance, loses, Russia is going to enter Baltic states, NATO member states, and then the U.S. will have to send their sons and daughters exactly the same way as we are sending their sons and daughters to war, and they will have to fight because it's NATO that we're talking about, and they will be dying.
Now, that's a whole different ball of wax. But if you have the whole context, not just a little clip of it, you see it very, very differently. Let him finish, and then we'll continue.
Forbid, because it's a horrible thing. I wish peace and Ukrainian support to the United States.
People are free to criticize that actual comment from Zelensky, but he was clearly not saying the U.S. military should fight on Ukrainian soil. he was saying the US would have to fight in other countries, NATO countries the US has formally committed to help defend if Russia invaded those countries later.
And so that is the crux of the argument. Again, if you want to criticize him for what he actually said, that's fine. Good people can disagree about that. But if you're taking him out of context, it's really, really not fair. So, and again, this is the kind of thing where I have arguments with people all the time who want to, oh, I don't want to start World War III. Neither do I. But this is a scenario that's going to potentially cause World War III, which is why I'm standing so squarely behind Ukraine, right? Okay, let him finish, and then we'll do one more thing, and we'll be done.
So, as always, when you come across a sensational but short clip on social media, it's always a good idea to look for the extended footage.
Yeah, and this is CNN, with whom I disagree on a lot of things, but here, they're absolutely right. This is what you need to do. You need to verify. So even if it sounds like it's something that seems to fit, if you can just do a little Google test to see if you can triangulate on that, it's a good idea to triangulate on that. And I'm telling you that even if it's something that I say. If you hear somebody like I want you to verify what I am saying. And if I'm wrong, I want to be corrected. If you ever hear somebody say, just believe me, I'm the expert, or I have this knowledge of some sort. I know from these Telegram channels or from this Twitter or whatever, this thing that nobody else knows, run. Because if they can't verify, run away from that. Don't listen to them. They can very easily run you into the wrong path. I've told you before and again that I'm a Reagan Republican, and so as a conservative cut out of Reagan's mold, I'm all behind Ukraine. But I also want to share this with you, one of his most famous statements.
It's still trust, but verify.
That's right. Trust, but verify. Okay, let's see what this is. Let's see on the surface, but then verify. Make sure that this is what is going to actually happen. Okay, my friends, that's all that I wanted to share today. I want you to pay attention and promise me that you will verify if you hear a strange claim or something that doesn't seem like it adds up. Just Google it. Look for it in other places. Don't immediately believe whatever's out.
It's still trust, but verify.
I hope that helps you and puts a little bit more context behind how you're seeing things in Ukraine. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to try to do what I can to help you understand more context, and tell me what you would like to hear more about, because I actually do want to make videos that will help you understand the war more fully. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for caring about Ukraine. Thank you for the coffees and for hitting that like button so that this spreads on the YouTube algorithm and so it can reach more people. I greatly appreciate it. Have a good one.